All right, so some other vocabulary that you need to know for this probability union. There are two words, intersection and union. And actually, they're both words that you've been using this entire union probability, but you just haven't been formally saying intersection. So if you think about what an intersection really meant when you were in, I think maybe middle school math, intersection is the overlap of two events happening. Both events happening, and both means and. So intersection is really an and kind of probability problem, but it can be symbolized as being written as event A and B. That is the intersection between event A and B happening. You're still going to treat their probabilities the exact same. And means multiply. So all the normal rules will apply for intersections. Union is the events that both A or B can happen. Either one of them can occur. So it's an or type of probability, and it's designated by this notation, A union B, either of the events occurring. And with or probabilities, you are really adding the two probabilities together. And you have to remember with union events, you're looking at them in this type of situation. We have event A or event B. This overlap, where both events could occur, if you remember in our mutually exclusive and non-mutually exclusive events, you always had to subtract that overlap so that he wasn't being accounted for twice. So that's also going to be something for you to watch out for when you're doing union probabilities. All right, so let's take a look at another example. So a student's going to the library. The probability that they check out a work of fiction is 0.4, so 40%. So the probability of checking out fiction is 0.4 or 40%. The probability of checking out a work of nonfiction, so I'm going to write non-fic, is 30% or 0.3. And the probability of checking out both fiction and nonfiction is 0.2. Okay? Something that we could also rewrite this as probability of fiction and nonfiction is that we could write this as the probability of fiction intersection nonfiction. And remember means intersection. Okay? What is the probability that the student checks out a work of fiction, nonfiction, or both? Okay? So what's the probability that they check out a work of fiction, nonfiction, or both? So in general, it's really just asking you what's the probability that they're going to check out one of these books. So we have the probability of fiction, union, nonfiction. I'm going to denote N as my nonfiction and my fiction as my F. Okay? So it doesn't matter, either or. But something that I'm going to have to remember is the fact that they do have a chance of checking out both, and what that's representing is my intersection, that overlap I was referring to. So the probability of fiction or nonfiction is really going to be probability of the fiction, or means add, probability of the nonfiction, minus the probability of the intersection, that both of them could be checked out. So the probability of fiction was 0.4. The probability of nonfiction was 0.3. The intersection, the overlap of the two events happening was 0.2. So if I add and subtract these together, I get a probability of 0.5, or 50%. Not at all different than what we've actually been doing. It's just the fact that the information was actually given to us.